Hello, my fine friends. Welcome back to Destination Discourse. This is a very special, shortened episode just in time for 4th of July. I'm your host, Stuart Butler, joined today with Adam Stoker. How are you, sir?
Hey, sir, I'm good, but I got to tell you, your intonation in your "hello, my fine friends," it's usually "hello, my fine," and I feel like it was kind of a
I'm
little
rushing it,
more
I'm rushing it,
reserved.
you know? Well,
Yeah.
I feel like we got to get through this episode quickly. Everyone wants to go hit the beach, preferably Myrtle Beach, and enjoy the liberty that this country has after Treason Day in 1776, whenever it
Hey,
was.
it's that kind of attitude that got us in this situation in the first place. I
It
want you
is
to know
true.
that.
Hey, in full disclosure, I am totally kidding. I've actually lived in America longer than I lived in England now, so I'm totally on board with 4th of July, what it represents. And I tell you, the first time I actually came to America, experienced 4th of July, I got to see a boat parade where people went all out with their boats and dressed up. And there was one that had a red coat on the front tied up, and they were throwing things at him. And I said to my wife, a girlfriend at the time, I said to my wife, if we'd known you wanted your independence this badly, we would have just given it to you. So happy Independence Day, everyone. We're going to do a quick episode for you, and it's going to be a preview. We're even going to skip Stu's news, which I know all of the audience is very excited about that
We might
today.
get some complaints on that, especially without the jingle, but that's okay.
We'll see. It might be our lowest rated episode ever. But let's talk about what we're going to talk about. This is a little preview to a session that you and I have coming up at ESTO this year. And so hopefully people that are listening are going to attend that. But we wanted to sort of show a little bit of how the sausage is made. We want the session to be very similar to the show and provocative and a little bit of discussion and debate. And we're even going to include a little bit of audience participation. So um, let's talk about that, Adam. So you want to sort of give us a rundown of what we're thinking about the session? It could evolve between now and then, but what are you thinking we're at right now?
Yeah, I mean, number one, the session's going to be built around why we created this show in the first place. And the idea was there's so much kind of agreement in the space and such a lack of debate that sometimes we get caught in an echo chamber and we don't get to see the other side of some of the arguments. And you and I have had people on to talk about a variety of different topics, some more provocative than others, but always giving the audience the ability to kind of hear both sides. And when I say the audience, excuse me, what I actually mean is Desties, and I want to be
Hmm.
clear with that.
The
Um,
Desti-nation is very mad at you right now.
yeah, the Destination. I'm going to do better with remembering that. But what we want to do with our session, we have 45 minutes, right? And we want to make sure that we kind of stay true to our mission, but on top of that, we want to get the audience involved. You know, a lot of times people will hear us and a guest or just the two of us talking, and we're going to have an audience of hundreds of people there ready to kind of chime in and be a part of the discussion. And so the way we plan to do that is we're going to have three topics that we cover, and we're going to use a technology. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Mentimeter, but it might be a different technology where we're going to poll the audience in real time. So with each topic, we're going to make a definitive statement, and then we're going to ask the audience if they agree or disagree with that definitive statement. And then we're actually going to give an audience member who believed one side or the other that wants to volunteer 1 minute to make their case for why the statement is right or wrong. And then the two of us will kind of debate and deliberate on the topic a little bit and then move on to the next one. And so it's going to be a really interactive session. The audience is going to get involved, and I'll give you a couple of examples of the definitive statements that we're talking about. Number one, DMO websites will be irrelevant in 5 years or less. Now, there's plenty of opportunity for debate around both sides of that argument, right? We've talked a lot about AI. We've talked a lot about the future of websites. In fact, I'd encourage everybody to go listen to the Tim Peter episode if you want to hear more on that. The second one is on the topic of data analytics, correlation, causation, attribution. The statement is our industry relies on vanity metrics and calls it attribution. And then we're going to poll the audience and ask them to agree or disagree. We may even give them the opportunity to decide who argues what side. So whether Stu has to take the pro or the con. I kind of like Stu. I need to stick with Stu. We do it on Stu's News, but I've never actually called you that directly. That was new for me. Uh, but so I think we'll go through these topics, and the idea is really to get the audience not only involved, but comfortable with the idea that there's opposing viewpoints and that we need to think through both sides in order for us to truly understand a principle or concept.
Yeah, I mean, part of why we started this show was because there seemed to be a lot of consensus in public, but there was behind closed doors, there was a little bit of dissent, right? And we wanted to bring that into the light. We felt like it would be healthier as an industry if we could get comfortable debating and disagreeing in an agreeable way. And so modeling that on stage and encouraging other people to participate in that, I think is a positive. And so it's I don't know. It's a risk, right? Because it's not a prepared set of slides. It's not rehearsed. We're just gonna, and especially when we don't know which side of an argument we're going to be debating. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of opportunity for you or me to screw up and people to watch that in real life. So, if people want to watch this show, when is ESTO? Where is ESTO? What time is that session?
So ESTO is August 17th through the 19th. And our episode, our show, is actually going to be on Monday. And I believe that's the 18th. Yep, it starts on the
Hmm.
17th. One day later than that is the 18th. So good job, Adam. So it'll start at
Hmm.
2 p.m. Uh, and
So
it
plenty of
looks
time for people to get over their hangover from the opening reception the night before, right?
exactly right. So they strategically put our session right during nap time after lunch on Monday, which is perfect for us to be able to get up there and do
We'll
this.
wake them up. It's fine. And we didn't mention it's in Phoenix, Arizona, right? So if you haven't already
Yes.
booked your tickets to ESTO, it typically does sell out. For me as a CMO, it's one of my favorite conferences I go to.
You're
It's
not a
definitely,
you're not a CMO.
oh, shoot, I'm not. That's right. That should have been Stu's news.
That should have been Stu's news. Do you
And
want to
as a
break that
rec
news?
well, not really. I
I
think
do.
people have seen
I want to break that
it.
news.
Go for it.
I guys, I want to congratulate my good friend and confidant and co-host Stuart Butler on being recently announced as the president of Visit Myrtle Beach. This is a prestigious honor, a significant opportunity, and it really speaks to the. I'm trying to see how far I can go before Stuart gets uncomfortable.
It happened about 30 seconds ago. Um, You
No,
almost was
congrats.
sounded sincere there for a second. Now, I will say several people have reached out to me and said that instead of president, I should probably be prime minister. But we're going to stick
Mm.
with president for now. But
Prince?
yeah, no, and definitely not king because you know how people feel about kings these days. So we'll stay away from that. Uh, yes, we've restructured some things within our organization. We're chamber and a CVB, and so I've been appointed the president of the CVB, and then Jimmy Gray, my counterpart, is now the head of the chamber. It's really good. We're very excited about the structural change. I think what it's going to allow us to do is really focus on things that are mission critical to each of the organizations, without the potential conflicts that can sometimes arise when, you know, maybe there's incentives that aren't aligned related to business community or driving tourism economics and things like that. So very, very excited about it. Our whole team is jazzed. And yeah, we're just getting started. So that'll be fun. But anyway, we
Congrats.
digress. This is thank you. Um, so this session is gonna be 2 p.m. Monday, Phoenix, Arizona, August 17th, August 18th. If you
Yep.
haven't gotten your tickets for ESTO yet, like I was saying, as a former CMO, it has been my favorite conference. And one of those is because it really is where most of the CMOs and the marketing folks tend to want to go to. It's if there's one event on the calendar people go to, it's typically this one from a marketing perspective, although there are other good ones. And they sort of limit the vendors, you know, and I would say they've done a really good job this year focusing on the content, being disruptive, being a little more provocative, not being sales pitches from the pulpit, as it were. And so I think it'll be a great conference, great time, and you'll get to see Adam and me, and maybe we'll be wearing some swag from the show. What do you think?
Maybe
Some
there's a little
merch.
little teaser, and who knows, maybe even our listeners can have the opportunity to get some too. I do want to say, Stuart, I want to thank the audience because honestly, if and this is our destination, if you guys didn't follow the show and share the show and listen and contribute and be guests on the show, we wouldn't get this opportunity to be up on stage at ESTO doing this show live. It hasn't even been a year since we've been doing this. and it's pretty exciting to see where it's gone. And it speaks to the hunger in the space for the type of content that we're creating. And so thank you to everybody that's been a part of it and listened or shared or press play on a YouTube video, whatever it is. It's really exciting to be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, we've rambled on long enough, self-indulged long enough. Let's let everyone else get back to their 4th of July festivities. Adam, if people want to find you, where can they do it?
Adam at thebrandrevolt.com. Find me on Tourism IQ or on LinkedIn.
Thank you. You can find me at Stuart.Butler at visitmyrtlebeach.com or on LinkedIn. And please leave a review, subscribe, tell a friend. The audience is definitely growing. We've got more than just your mom listening now, Adam. So we're really glad to see that. But we'd love more people to join the Destination. So be sure to tell a friend. And until next time, this has been Destination Discourse.
Thanks, everybody.